Parker family, and welcome to school on this fabulous Friday, January 12th. It's day A and day 79 of 180 days of awesome. If everyone will now please stand up and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's see who's celebrating a birthday today and over the weekend. Happy birthday to Colin in Mrs. Cansilla's class, Owen in Mr. Biddle and Mr. Lewis's class, Anas in Mrs. Watkins' class, and Riley in Mrs. Ferrara and Miss Space's class. Celebrating a birthday over the weekend, Benjamin in Mrs. Healy and Mrs. Schultz' class, Christopher in Mrs. Salmon and Mrs. Siniscalchi's class, Richard in Mrs. Klein and Mrs. Gentleman's class, Maggie in Mrs. Calori and Mrs. Pittner's class, Jocelyn in Mrs. Steinmetz and Miss Hart's class, Charlie in Miss Diddert's class, Emma in Mrs. Roberto's class, Evelyn in Mrs. Cicchini's class. I'm not sure why that's there. Pamela in Mrs. Dominic and Mrs. Hill's class, Ava in Mrs. Cicchini and Mrs. Forrest's class, and Valeria in Mrs. Floyd and Mrs. Collins' class. Ooh, that was a lot. We hope everybody has a fantastic birthday, and when your teacher allows you to do so, please come to the main office to pick up your birthday pencil. All right. Our word of the week is venture. Today, you are going to draw a picture to go along with your sentence that represents the meaning of the word venture. I would venture to say that everyone is excited that we have Monday off. How about you?
Yes, ma'am. Super excited.
We hope that you were able to use the word venture in this week's writing or in something that you were speaking about this week. All right, Mrs. Mitchell, we do have a little bit. Oh, you know what? One more thing I forgot to say, teachers. Please make sure that you are checking the Parker happenings. There is a document on this week's that you need to complete. Again, please make sure you're checking them every week. I did divide the new updates reminders into two sections. So there's the new ones and then there's the recurring, so that if you don't want to look at all of it, you do not have to. But many times I put information in the happenings that you are responsible for. So please make sure that you're looking at that and complete the chart that was attached this week.
Okay. All right. Let's see who's flying in a V.
We're going to draw a picture.
Okay, there we go. Miss Hart for being so efficient during bus duty, and Mr. Lewis for being so efficient during bus doozy.
It's a doozy. It's a doozy out there at bus duty. It surely is.
Great job. You will get the comment
Comment parking spots. There's reserved sparking. We're a pair today. There are reserved parking spots outside. There are ones that say reserved, and then they have a star under them. So feel free to park in any of those if you have the Comet Pride parking spot. And thank you to everyone who's out on bus duty. It is a bit stressful sometimes, and we do greatly appreciate everything you do during bus duty.
Yeah. Comment cash winners. It's a rough Friday. Antoine. Great job, Antoine.
Good job, Antoine.
From Miss Green and Miss McNevin's class. Laura from Miss Solman and Miss Siniscalchi's. And Wilson from Ms. Cancilla's class. Awesome job.
Good job, everybody. Please
Keep
come
up the good
down
work.
to the guidance counselor to get your prize.
Okay. Today's announcements and reminders are, today is National Youth Day. Wow, that's depressing. I mean, great for all of you.
What are you saying? We're not youthful, Mrs. Mission?
Well, after I got my grades dyed last night, sure.
I did too.
I had a student that said, oh, were you there last night? Mm-hmm. Oh, you're good at the same place, right? No, in the village. Oh, never mind. That would have been fun. It was fun.
We
It was
could have had a comedic event.
oh, that
in
would
the
have
hair-
been, we should have videotaped
in the
it.
salon.
Put it on the news. That's always fun too. I had one of my students point out to my gray hair. We won't mention any names. Aiden, and he said, "Miss Mission, has Brock been getting on your nerves?" Brock's my middle child, and I said, "Oh, funny that you say that." Yeah, he said, "Every day, my children, they're great, but we all know how that is." And he's like, "Oh, because you got some gray going on in your hair."
Yeah.
So, Aiden, be happy. At the end of the day, I called to get my hair dyed.
She needed that push, Aiden.
Needed it. And to
needed
make
that
it all
push.
better, too, the girl who did my hair was a former student.
Yep, so we're definitely not youthful
No,
anymore.
today is not National Youth Day for me, but you guys enjoy it.
Well, I'm 25 years younger than you, so I'm going to enjoy it.
Oh, you're cute.
Youth Day.
Okay, moving on. Third grade course for Bauer, Calauria, and Ferrara, Floyd, and Hain, 9th period. Reminder, school is closed on Monday in observance for Martin Luther King Day. It's a special day. And that is it, and that was a lot for Friday.
If you carry one thing with you today, let it be this. You are brave, you are beautiful, you are strong, you are smart, you are loved here at the Harker School. That is all of our announcements for today. We hope everyone has a stellar day and a stellar weekend. And don't forget to aim high, work hard, be kind, and make today awesome. Say it every day, and like today is a terrible Friday for us. All right, see ya.